What's up, everybody? Today I'm gonna do a book review. This book is based on a novel by Ian Fleming, uh, or Ian Fleming. I'm not sure exactly how you say it, but yeah, the book's kind of old. It was made in the 1950s. It's called Casino Royale. It's the first ever James Bond novel that was ever made. The movie, based on the novel, loosely based on the novel, came out 2006, and I'm going to do a review of the book. I've just been getting into James Bond novels. I'm on my fourth one right now, Diamonds Are Forever. I'm going in order, and you know, Casino Royale was the first. I'm going to be making some, comparisons between the movie and the book. What I mostly have to say is that the book, I'm glad that in the movie they made the changes that they did, or a lot of them at least. Uh, I like I like the movie. I love the movie, and I really like the book as well. Um, but what I've learned from reading the books and my past knowledge of watching the movies is that, especially before Daniel Craig came on, the character that we've seen in the movies isn't exactly the character that is in the book. Um, he's got similar traits, but he's a real person. He's a human being. He's not some. I mean, and especially in the Pierce Brosnan films, which I like. I mean, I like them for what they are, but you know, it's very based in reality, and it is very much a real character, a real person. He has real emotions, which I think is what they are bringing out in the Daniel Craig version of the films. But so far I haven't seen him on any jetpacks. I haven't seen him driving a car that has missiles launching out of his car. Um, just things like that. The character, he gets beaten up a lot. He's a very much a real person. He's suave, but he's not suave like we know from the films. He's good with the ladies. And like in the Casino Royale, he meets Vesper, and the story sticks pretty much the same in the book as it is in the movie. There's differences. The characters are a bit different, but yeah, it's pretty similar. Um, the difference in the book is and the movie is that you have to remember that this book was written in the 1950s, and it was written by an Englishman, and it was very anti-Russia, anti-communism, you get what I'm saying. And it's got a lot of this feeling. Every book that I've read has had something bad about, I mean, where the Russians are the main villain. You see, there's this group in the book called Smersh, and it's a part of the Russian government, I would guess, and it is, well, it's a group that hunts down and wants to kill the Western spies. That's what it stands for. Spy killers, I believe, is what it was. That's not the exact word, but that's basically what it's about. The book is great, but like I said, it's very real. It's a book. It's not. I mean, it's got action in it, but it's not like big time action oriented. The book is really good. I would say a 7.5 out of 10 if I had to give it a rating. I know that some people like it more, and I liked it for a lot of reasons, but I mean, like I said, I'm glad that they made the changes in the movie that they made. I mean, it just made for a better story in the movie, I believe. But they had to make some of the changes too because of the times that we live in. But I love the character James Bond, and this has just shown me more about the character, shown that he's a real person, and I just think that his, I mean, he's just a person who's very hard. He's very dedicated to his country, to saving people's lives. He won't kill an innocent person, but if you're if you're against him, if you're against his country, if you're gonna harm other people, then he'll stop you. That's just how he feels. But anyways, I give this a 7.5 out of 10. The book is basically about, just like the movie if you've seen the film, James Bond goes into a casino to stop the villain Les Sharif. He's undercover as a gambler. He meets a U.S. government agent who was one of my favorite characters in the James Bond mythology, Felix Leiter. He is the CIA operative. He helps Bond out. He loans him the money when they are in need, just like in the film. He is different, but in the book he's different than how he's portrayed on film. But you know, the essence of the character is still the same. You know, he's the American version of James Bond almost. It doesn't get shown very much in the films, though, is what I don't like. But if you read the book, Felix and James, they're just, you know, there's a fight, not in this book, but in one book where, you know, there's a point where Felix is able to fight someone, and, you know, it's like he does something, but Bond wasn't able to do it. I mean, it's not anything big, but it just shows that they're almost equal, like, and that's what I like. It's not because he's American or anything like that. It's just because I mean, even in watching the films in the 60s when I was younger, I just always liked the character Felix Leiter, and I don't know. I mean, it's just someone I really like. Just like I like the group Spectra in the 1960 films. But yeah, it was a good book. It was the first of the series. Bond is shown as he thinks of women just as prizes. He's not looking for love, but that's what he finds in this book. But it turns out that the woman is actually being forced, the woman that he falls in love with and asks to marry him she is being forced to be a spy against him, against her country, against her agency. And there's a lot of things that are in the film that are in the book. The scene where she's kidnapped, Vesper gets kidnapped. She is taken into a car. James, you know, his car gets into a car accident. It's not the same, but it's still a car accident. James Bond gets taken to be tortured, and he is I don't know. I've lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. You know, he's tortured, and then the scene in the movie where, you know, he's sitting on a chair and, you know, he gets whipped. That was in the book. A lot of the characters are in the that were in the film are in the book. And overall, you guys, I just think that if you like the character James Bond, you should really try and read the book. I mean, I'm getting mine from the library to read. But if you go do that and then go back and watch the movies, a lot of the time the books are better than the film. Besides Casino Royale, I would say that every book has been better than the film. The other two that I've read, anyways. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know about that. Give you this review for this character that I love very much, and plan on doing more reviews of. Thanks, guys.